Welcome back to another week of HT Youth Connect. This is our second week of doing stuff online. Life is still crazy. My phone is currently balanced on top of a baking tray, leaning against a plant pot, because that's how you make a recording studio in your own house. Welcome back to my sofa. And can I just say, I am missing seeing you guys so much at the moment. One of the craziest things, I mean, life is just crazy at the moment anyway, but one of the craziest things is not being able to be together as HT Youth, not being able to see all your lovely faces, not being able to find out how you're doing. So, receive my love. One of the best things about the last week has been hearing from some of you, finding out how you're doing, hearing about how we can pray for you. So please get in touch. You can comment on this video if that's not too strange, but you can also send me an email, and you can sign up for WhatsApp small groups. If you go to the HT Youth Connect page on the HT Cambridge website, it's less complicated than it sounds. On the HT Youth Connect page, there's a little form where you can sign up for WhatsApp small groups, and that's just a little chance for us to be church even when we can't be in church, and we can send each other how we can pray and random emojis and whimsical memes and all kinds of exciting things. So get in touch there. But yeah, most of all, just know the youth team love you guys a lot. We're praying for you. We would love to hear from you. That's enough emotion from me to kick off this video. We're going to play a game. Isabel is running our game this week, so over to Isabel and some auctioneering action.
Hey HTUs, it's Isabel here. I hope you're all having a wonderful week and that you've made the most of the lovely sunny weather where possible. So for this week's game, we're going to be playing How Much? Quarantine Edition. So the aim of the game is basically I'm going to give you an item and its original price, and I want you to tell me how much it is on the most expensive eBay listing. Sounds pretty simple. Let's get started, shall we? So, for a single roll of toilet paper that originally costs approximately 50p, depending on brand, how much do you think it is selling for on eBay? Question 2. So, for a bag of pasta, sort of standard 500 gram bag, costs around 50p normally, maybe slightly more. How much do you think it costs? Question 3. Hand sanitizer. So for a slightly larger bottle that costs usually around £6, maybe more, how much do you think this is selling for on eBay? And I have to tell you with this one, it's a used bottle on eBay. Not even a nice shiny new one, but a used one. And this is possibly the most expensive hand sanitizer in existence. So 2 bottles of Calpol, 2 packs of paracetamol. How much do you think that costs? I've estimated that it usually costs around £15 total for that. Like £7 each for the Calpol, and then 50p or less for paracetamol. And then how much do you think that costs? Send a comment, we'll see. Then tea bags, a nice Yorkshire tea pack, 250 bags, cost about £5 in your average supermarket. How much do you think that is selling for on eBay? I'll give you a couple of seconds just to send your answers in. Right, let's have a look at how much these actually cost on eBay. So for a single roll of toilet paper, not even a whole packet, you're looking at spending £650. Why would anyone spend that much? And now is probably a good time to point out that every single one of these listings I looked at had bids on them, as in people were actually wanting to purchase them at this price. Don't ask me why. So the bag of pasta, that usually costs around 50p, was selling on eBay for £3,240. £40. This is crazy. And then, let's have a think about some hand sanitizer, the most expensive item on my list, selling for a grand total of £35,100. Yes, that's a lot of money for a used bottle of hand sanitizer. Right, next one, medications, Calpol, paracetamol, went from £15 to £2,050. I don't know why anyone is spending this much money on any of these items. And then finally, the box of tea bags that was originally £5 is selling for £1,000. This is ridiculous. Right, let me know in the comment section whether you've got all of them right, got some of them right, and also how much would you be willing to pay for each of these items? Have a think.
That was incredible. What kind of world do we live in right now? Well, that's our fun. And now to help us think about faith, like in this crazy world where loo rolls are being sold for hundreds of pounds, what does it mean to be a Christian? What kind of resources does the Bible have for us in these kinds of times? And for that, we're going to hand over to Ellie. And just as you watch Ellie, just think, how is Ellie able to keep so many plants so alive and green in her house? 'Tis a mystery to behold. Over to Ellie.
Hi everyone, Ellie here. It's good to see you, although I can't actually see you. But you can see me. Anyway, hope your week's going well. Let us know how it's been. My week, it's been just terrific, really wonderful. I've started baking. As you can see, it's going really well, 10 out of 10. But aside from my baking disasters, I think it takes just like a quick look at the news to see that it really feels at the minute like the world is falling apart, like lots of the things we trusted in are no longer standing. Last week, Steve talked about crumbling mountains. This week, I'm going to talk a bit about crumbling kingdoms. Suddenly, life as we knew it, maybe even life as we loved it, has stopped. It's gone. And I actually think it's really important that we register this, that we take time to process it. Maybe for you, that's just a cry out to God of, what on earth has just happened to the world? This time last week, I was thinking about school and work and exams and the future. And now I don't feel in control of anything and I don't know what's going to happen. And I can't even register any of this. Maybe for you, it's just grief and confusion and anger. And in times like this, it's really easy just to fill our lives with stuff. You know, cooking, crochet, work, whatever it is, anything just to pretend that it's not happening, that things are still just completely normal. But I found that the one place that is actually engaging with this, it's engaging with the grief and the sadness that is going on in the world, is the Bible. Because things like this, they've happened before. Let me take you back to 740 BC. This is written by the prophet Isaiah. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and exalted, seated on a throne, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphim, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. So let's just set aside the angels for a few minutes and focus on the first few lines of this. In the year that King Uzziah died. So I realise we've got a bit of a problem here in that Uzziah and Isaiah sound basically the same. So to distinguish, Uzziah, Isaiah. So Uzziah had been king for 52 years. 52 years of prosperity, 52 years of security and comfort. But suddenly things changed and he was dying and his son wasn't ready to rule and it just looked like things were coming to an end. the end of a kingdom, the end of all the stuff that seemed so secure, the end that we can't even imagine will happen until it does. But we can imagine how Isaiah felt walking through a world that he barely recognised to the temple and wondering what was going to happen and feeling scared and confused and angry. And it's in this time when Uzziah's reign has finished, where his throne is empty, that Isaiah sees the one true king lifted up high and exalted on his throne. And the throne that Isaiah sees is a throne that does not crumble. It is a throne that is strong. And you know what? Isaiah can't even look at him. Isaiah can only see the robe that he's wearing, and he can only look at the angels in there. He can't even look at God's face. And you know what? I think this is actually the same for us. I think during this time when it feels like the throne is empty, when it feels like the kingdom is over, in this time, when everything that we thought was secure has been proved to be flimsy and fragile, we can see the one true king, and we can see that his throne does not crumble and that he reigns over all. So what do we hope for in times like this? I'd just been hoping that things would get back to normal as quick as possible. We could just go back to life how it was before. But actually, I think we can do a lot better than this. You see, hope isn't just about optimism or about scientific advancement or development or even that things will just turn out okay in the end. Our hope is about the promises of the one who is on the throne, but who incredibly is also for us. You see, this God didn't just stay on the throne. He didn't stay at a safe, hygienic distance. He came to earth as a human, fully human, and he grieved our griefs, and he felt our pain, and he died our death on the cross. Jesus stared death in the eyes and did not flinch. But death couldn't hold him. He rose from the dead, and he is the living one. And so in this time, it's not just a brace yourself and close your eyes till it's over kind of time. God is still at work. He is the living one. We have a hope, and he is alive, and his name is Jesus. So what is this time for then? I wonder if this is a time to sort of pause in the throne room like Isaiah and the angels did, to stop and wait and listen to God and rest and to look at him and realise that he's king. And you know, there's as many ways to do that as there are people watching this video, but here's a few ideas. So lots of us have a little bit more time than usual at the minute. Why not set aside some time to worship God, to do exactly what Isaiah and the angels did in our passage, to sing that he is king over all the stuff that's happening in the world, to just remind ourselves, to realign ourselves in the fact that he is king. Another option, this is something that Steve mentioned last week, is find a quiet space in your house or outside in the garden. That may be a little bit more difficult than normal, and just spend some time with God. That might look like reading the Bible, that might look like reading back over Isaiah, the passage that we looked at today. That might look like just talking to God. Spend some time with God, wait on him, listen to him. And something else, you know, interestingly, corona in Latin means crown. And so it's literally crown virus. And it does feel a little bit like coronavirus is trying to rule our lives at the minute. So something I've done is this wonderful artistic creation. You guys can do this at home. It's easy. You just draw a crown and write underneath it something to do that reminds you that God is king. And put this up somewhere where you can see it. And every time you see it, remember, remind yourself, God is king. God is king. Cool. That's all from me.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellie. What a crazy good reminder right now to know that, you know, this virus, which is called the crown virus, actually doesn't sit on the throne. Like, there is a God who sits on the throne of our lives. That is so awesome to remember. I'd really recommend Ellie's crown thing. I did it this week. I sat down, I stuck some music on, some worship music, and I just spent some time writing down in my crown all the things that God is, all the things about who this king is on the throne. You've got Jesus, you've got the fact he's our friend and saviour, he's the one who made the world, he actually cares about my future, my worries, he loves us, all this kind of stuff. Give it a go. You might stick it somewhere up in your house, you might not look at it again, but it will still be a valuable 15 minutes of your life to spend worshipping God and reminding yourself who is actually on the throne. Okay, lastly, family. Like I said at the start of this video, we do have these WhatsApp small groups which you can sign up for online. But I want to remind us again of this challenge. How is it that we can go out of our way once every day to serve or to love someone in our household? Maybe it's someone who is feeling worried, someone who's feeling stressed, someone who's having a hard day. How is it that we can go out of our way to love and to encourage and to care for people around us? I think that's something that Jesus would be doing. You know, throughout the Bible we see Jesus in all these situations which are really tough and crazy and life is difficult, and what does he do? He goes out of his way. He's willing to be interrupted by people as he walks along the road, and he goes out of his way to care, to serve, to do the small things that maybe might never be noticed but make a difference to someone. And I think he will give us the strength to do that, to be family in this time, to be church, even when we can't be in church together. So let us know how you're doing. Sign up for those WhatsApp small groups and be thinking and praying, how is it I can love and serve the people around me today as a motorcycle drives past my window and can inevitably be heard on your video screen. Alright, that's all for this week. Keep in touch. We love you guys a lot, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.